a little bit easier. It's just basics. We're going to give you some basics. Remember, this business is about the basics. The more simple you keep it, we always say, keep it simple, stupid. Like so simple that anybody that is, short on things can even do it, right? We just don't want anybody to ever feel like it's over their head, right? So they're going to duplicate what you do. So keep it simple, and then it becomes very duplicatable. So we're going to talk about that. And we're going to start with the pro strategy, which obviously you guys have heard a lot about. You know about it. We just want to make sure and reiterate it because it's so key to making sure that you stay consistent and persistent. There's a big difference in that reality, because we can walk out of here with a lot of great intentions, right? Great intentions do not get results. Intentionality is what gets results. So this is about making sure that you don't walk out here with great intentions, but to be intentional, and the pro strategy is going to keep you on track.
So when you hear about systems, you're on Zooms, you're on trainings, you hear about a system for success. Hey, we have a system. We have a system. This people go, okay, well, what's the system? That's like the $1 million question. Well, what's the system? Well, the system. So what we want to focus on is to help you understand the strategy of the system for success. And so it's really, the strategy is in your daily method of operation. Your strategy is in what you do every day and how simple you keep it, because it is just like a franchise. You got to keep it like an In-N-Out burger. When you walk in In-N-Out, it's very simple. You know what you're going to order when you look up there. You look up there and you think, why am I looking up there? I already know what's up there. There's one thing up there, and that's what I'm going to order. And then they're going to serve it up real quick. And here's what's going to happen. It's predictable taste. It's predictable service. Everything's predictable. You get your predictable and desirable results as a result of In-N-Out. And so the system's got to function that way too. So let's start with the pro strategy, because that's the basis of the system, is, to patch people, and it's to revisit people, and then is to point them toward the opportunity. Okay, that's like the King James Version of the Bible. Patch people, revisit people, and point them to the opportunity. So sometimes there's a New International Version, and it's talk to 3 people a day, follow up with 3 people a day, invite 3 people a day to a Zoom. It's the same Bible, okay? It's just someone else. Yep. Change the wording so you can maybe better understand it. So it's the pro strategy. We patch people, and patch people doesn't always mean you're sticking a patch on everyone that moves. Patch people sometimes means you're retelling the patches. You're getting people on the patches. So it's about, you have to keep that in its proper context too. It's different. That can be different for anybody. So some people are going to stick a patch on everything that breathes and moves, and that's fine too. But that doesn't mean you are. It just depends on who it is. But it's the concept of patching people. It's the concept of revisiting and following up with the people, and it's the concept of pointing people and getting eyeballs on Zooms. This business is about getting eyeballs on Zooms. Diane?
I just wanted to say that, when we talk about patch people, it's the intention to patch, right? So it maybe start the conversation, because when we start talking about the numbers and you start getting the consistency of how many people you're going to talk to on a regular basis, because now you have intentionality to do it consistently, then, who am I starting a conversation with to make it that much simpler so that I'm getting a patch on them?
So let's go to that next slide. Well, everything in this business is about you talking to people. Foundationally, you get paid to talk to people. And so this is what pays you, to talk to people. This comes from the insurance business. People that have been in the insurance business on a high level since reading books, like I still can't think of the guy's name, Frank something, from How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling, Frank Bedker or something like that. I mean, just from the early days of insurance, it's about you making the phone calls. It's about you making the contacts. You get paid to talk to people. You don't get paid for yeses and nos. You get paid for talking to people. The yeses and nos average out, and we're going to get to that in a second. So you got to ask yourself, how many people am I going to talk to per day, per week? How many one-on-ones am I going to have? How many two-on-ones? How many three-way calls? How many Zooms? How many private Zooms? Everyone in this room should download the slides, the presentation slides. If you desire to be successful, there shouldn't be one single distributor that does not have these slides downloaded on your computer. It's inexcusable. It really is. I'm not trying to be harsh. I'm just trying to tell you, do you have a business or do you not have a business? I mean, do you want one or not? If you want one, you download, Terry said it, get to the hamburger section and download the stuff that needs to be downloaded so you can have a real business on your hands, because it's going to be important.
Right. So this is all about the who. Who are we going to be talking to? And then you setting your personal goals so that you're staying consistent and persistent with the amount of people that you plan to talk to on a regular basis. You know, how many people am I talking to? Just like Danny talked about, you're going to start putting these personal goals, because everything's about what you are committing to do. And that's not compared to what somebody else has done. It's about your season, your life, and where you're at, to where you can set a goal that you can commit to for yourself, for your better future, and the people that you're going to bring into this business. And of course, as a leader, to set the pace for your organization.
And so let me say one more thing before we move to the next slide. You know, foundationally, you get paid to talk to people. And this, I'm just throwing in $1 million nugget to go on top of it, because it's reiterating what someone said earlier. The second, as a leader, you get paid to train. So if you want to be a leader in business, if you want to make a large income here, you have to work toward and develop and go through the personal growth and the leadership growth to the point where you assume there's responsibility of taking ownership of your business and be the leader that you wish you would have never had. Be the leader that you wish you would have had. Like Carl was kind of saying, you got to be a leader, because you get paid to train. Diane and I know we get paid to train. I don't get paid for doing presentations. I get paid to train. Yep. The more I train, the bigger our check gets. Okay, so let's get back to you, though, the foundation and all that, the daily method of operation. This is the key to everything right here in this next slide that's coming up before you. It's your daily method of operation. It's the consistency and the intentionality that you have to take your business and run with it. And so you have to take the pro strategy, and you have to, this is what fits into your pro strategy. Yeah. This is it's the numbers, you know, because we could have a concrete system, you know, that we're going to talk to 3 people a day, follow up with 3 people a day, invite 3 people a day to a Zoom, or invite 3 people a week to a Zoom, or we're going to talk to 2 people. You know, we could have that. We could just say that's the system. It's 3-3-3 or 3-3-1 or 7-7-7. But that's not the system. The system is, how many people are you, based on your goals, your dreams, your purpose, desires, ambitions, how many people, what number fits you in the pro strategy? And so you take that number and you divide it. See, we also want to be realistic. You should have God first in your life, family second. It's God first, family second, your current profession third, and then LifeWave. So this is not, we don't want to advocate that you should be doing this 24/7. I don't think that's emotionally healthy. I don't think that's good teaching and good training. You should take time to rest and enjoy your family and enjoy your just everything in life. But anyhow, based on a 5-day work week, that's not 365 days a year. It's 261 days a year. And so when you pick your number, we're going to take 2 numbers here, though. We'll take the number 3 and the number 1. Let's start with 3. You look at 3-3-3. If you talk to 3 people a day, follow up with 3 people a day. So you patch 3 people a day. You revisit with 3 people a day, and you point 3 people to an opportunity Zoom every week. Okay. I'm being realistic. Most people aren't going to point 3 people to a Zoom every day. Now, if you do, you're a freak of nature, and that's great. You don't need my training.
You'll move faster.
But most people, if we're being realistic, it's 3-3-3. Well, look at the numbers, guys. The numbers are this. If you just did that, that's 783 people you've talked to in a year's time. Who in here thinks they wouldn't be making incredible income if they talked to 783 people over the next 365 days? Only a moron would say I wouldn't be doing very well. Yeah. No, the law of averages kicks in. But you're looking you sometimes you just get too overwhelmed with what you think you have to do here, and it's really just little chunks at a time. 3 people a day, talk to 3 people a day, and follow up with 3 people a day, invite 3 people to a Zoom. Well, so now let's just go to 1. Let's go to the person who's got the full-time career and they're busy and, you know, they got all the different things in life. There's just so much on their plate. What if you just did 1? Look at the math. The math for just 1 is 261 people. Now, who in here would quit LifeWave if they've talked to 261 people in a year? You think they've quit LifeWave? No. You know who quits LifeWave? See, they didn't fail. They didn't fail. They quit. You know who quits? The one who talked to 2 people and then quit. The one who talked to 10 people in the first 90 days and quit.
Yeah.
You talk to 261 people in a year, you haven't quit. You have a check. You have income. So this is income producing activity, your daily method of operation. So let's go to the next slide and Diane can start putting it together.
I do want to make sure that y'all understand the power of follow-up, because so many people, and I hear this all the time, and I'm sure many of you do too, or you feel this way, I don't want to bother people. You've got to understand that that's part of this business. Circling back to people is very normal. We all get busy. I appreciate it when people circle back to me, and you probably feel the same way. You're not bothering people. You're just circling back to make sure that you continue the conversation. And so just make sure that you don't cut that part short, the circle back, the follow-up. Because you're always going to move them into the next set thing. And then this is all about making sure that you just keep everything moving down the pipeline, because that's what we want to do, and get the ball down the court, where you're always on a weekly basis putting a focus on the commitment, the discipline, and the consistency, because we have to know the calendar. And not only do you have to know the calendar or what the next event is, but you got to make sure your team does. As a leader, take ownership, take responsibility. Don't just leave it to Steve and Gina's emails or the texts that are going out, because people don't pay attention to everything. So if you're not being a leader and just following up, hey, make sure that you plug in, or I'll get a brand new customer and I'm still going to, even though I've got the victory, brand partner, I'm not really good at customers, but so I get a brand new brand partner, they've got their patches going. I haven't got them on a Zoom. I want eyeballs on Zooms. The more eyeballs you get on Zooms, the more success you have, because it's layers of conviction. So this daily method of operation, this on a weekly basis where you're putting your days together, this is about you getting layers of conviction for yourself, for your team, and for your prospects. And so know the calendar. How many people will you talk to? Who needs to follow up? Who will you invite to the next Zoom? And fill in the blueprint. So again, and then we're moving into the DMO. So we already know the DMO. It's been talked about many times, which moves into inviting people to presentations. Again, this is all the way around exactly what you'll already know, but it's continuing to stay in the method of operation, and then plug them into the Saturday trainings. People move with knowledge. Confused people do nothing. So make sure that you're helping people understand the business basics and get them on the Saturday training, because they will definitely pick something up. They will definitely get another layer of conviction, and they'll continue to move the ball down the pipeline themselves.
Next slide, please. Well, and as you go through that weekly schedule for your system, that's a strategy for success. But it all starts with your pro strategy, your daily method of operation. Mm-hmm. But as you continue over the next 30 days, you can start throwing in-home meetings, which used to be foundational, kind of in our older days of network marketing. And then it got away from being foundational, but it's coming kind of back into a trend. So you can throw your in-home meeting schedule into there and really crush it. Yeah. So keep in mind that people want community. They want to come to your house. They want to do these things. They want to gather together. So this is an important part of your strategy. And so lastly, the last slide, I'll let Diane close it with the last slide, because you want to take that. Let's go ahead and get to the last slide. And you want to take that and look at the big picture. So last slide, please. We only got a few seconds here. We're out of time. Well, cover it real quick. Tell them what.
I thought you were going to do it. I'm sorry. So this is just repeat the process, but then we're moving into the big picture, because not only do we have our weekly things, but we also have the big picture, like getting people to from event to event. Like we're leaving here, but the next event is Unleashed. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the next event.
Rise up.
I'm sorry, Rise Up. I'm so sorry. Rise Up, making sure that we continue to get people to the next event. So we're going to be talking about Rise Up because that's how we grow our business from event to event and incentive to incentive. We know where that Punta Mita is coming up. You got to be talking about it. You got to be sharing it. You got to be painting vision for it because I'm telling you, it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. We personally love it. And we know that that Lifeway's going to do it big. So we hope that helps. You guys be blessed.
God bless you guys.